Metroidvania. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome. Today we are talking about an indie revolutionary title, Cave Story. Now, if you know nothing about Cave Story began as a free indie game on the PC oh so long ago from a Japanese developer. Well, maybe developer wouldn't be appropriate at the time since I think it was his first game. I don't remember how long it took him to make it, but I remember it. I'm pretty sure it took him several years. And pretty much, if I remember correctly, he said Master Blaster was one of the main inspirations of Cave Story. Ooh. Excuse me. Ugh. I think I'm getting a bit of a cold, sadly. But anyway, Cave Story is a free game on the PC. It has been ported to the eShop on the Wii, and then we got the first physical version of Cave Story on the 3DS. 3D. Don't mind that too much. It's not that big of a thing. You can either play Cave Story with 3D modeled characters and everything, or you can play in classic mode. And one feature I really like is you're not locked down in one mode. You can save and quit and switch to the different mode and still be in the same progression. Nothing too fancy with the case. Nothing fancy inside. Standard book. It's in black and white, but it does give a good amount of information on the game. It does give some character information, black and white, but it does give some character information in that. And yeah, it has 2 languages in it, so it was published by NIS in America. I believe it was published by someone else in Japan, though. This is a very good game in my opinion. I've always wanted to play Cave Story, but I never really went and tried the PC version, and I never was interested in the eShop version because it's just a download. Well, this is kind of debatable whether it's better than the eShop one. Apparently the eShop one has just a tad bit more content than this version. However, this version is more superior when it comes to the additional character, who, as far as I can understand, this character is playable in this and the eShop version. However, only... She's apparently broken in the eShop version, basically. For my weed, I no personal experience with that. For my weed, she has issues in the eShop version. So, on the Wii. I don't know if this version's on the 3DS eShop, but that ain't what I mean by eShop. The Wii version on the eShop. She apparently is fixed and works much better on this. This and the eShop version apparently have an additional level that the original Cave Story on the PC did not have. And yeah, this is my first outing with Cave Story, so I don't really have a lot to compare it to. Ooh, pardon me. So, first thing, yes, Metroidvania. Or if you want to also just go with Master Blaster, which essentially was a very Metroidvania game anyway. The game, if you ever played Master Blaster on the NES, it really does kind of capture that Master Blaster feeling, because you're using guns and that in this, and like Metroidvania, it does have RPG elements in it, but it's not as interesting per se with a Metroidvania style game. I mean, usually Metroidvania games don't deal with lots of projectiles. I mean, you usually get projectiles, but I mean, it's not like the core weaponry of everything. everything you use is guns. Just recently I got a machine gun. That is very awesome because at its max level, it can actually propel you into the air shooting downward, adding like a whole new mechanic to dodge and reach new heights. Very interesting mechanic. I'm enjoying that very much. Um, the game, I've encountered quite a few boss fights, and to be honest, at first they were being a little interesting, but once I got the flame gun, the last three boss encounters were jokes. Like, seriously, I just had to figure out with him, and I could basically get to a safe spot and shoot 5 billion fireballs and do like 60 plus damage until they stopped showing the weakness and went away. Um, Hopefully a lot of bosses ain't as easy to be dealt with like that. But they all very I mean, like the one in the sand zone was very interesting. But again, I was able to deal a shitload. Like the fireballs make awesome protection. Like when you shoot them up, they like do an arc, and you can basically like protect your upper front area. And if you want to do the same, you could just flip around. So it really provided an excellent strategy on that particular boss too, but hopefully it'll be more mixy up and have to challenge me. I look forward to trying that machine gun. But I'm really enjoying it very much. Death can be very radical in it though. You could die very easily. They're all like death drops and stuff, and there are a lot of save points and places to get HP, so it's pretty forgiving in that. But if you're not one to stand cheap death, well, I wouldn't say they're cheap deaths, but I would just say if you're not one that really likes dying, sometimes to learn a few things, but I wouldn't say it's like Dark Souls or something. But there are points where you could accidentally die and have to do a little redoing of the level. But it usually hasn't been much. It's very belittling. It's not a big deal. There was plenty of save points. You could switch between the 3D and classic mode. There was apparently additional mode on the main menu, which I'm assuming is the additional character on the cover, who gave me the machine gun. So I would assume you have to beat the game at that point. Now, the game does not seem to make any real use of the dual screens at all, as far as I can see. The bottom screen basically shows your inventory, which, as far as I can tell, interacting with it is pretty pointless, except for reading maybe a little funny description of the item. Because when you you have a key and you go to a door and you examine the door, it automatically will use the key. So there's no I need to select this and this. As far as I can tell so far, all items I had to get. All I had to do is get, use, or give to whoever requested them, and just talk or examine, and it would just do it. I didn't have to mess with the inventory, so I'm not seeing a whole lot of good usage of the two screens. And there's no map. As far as I can tell, there's no map. If there is a map, I haven't found one. I would think a map would be useful, especially since the game has a very Metroidvania feel to it. But that also might be because it's not all interconnected. You use a kind of a hub area to teleport to maybe like mini maze areas. So I guess a map would be kind of maybe a little not as useful, but that would depend on how later areas in the game turn out. So far, I only have 4 guns, which I had to trade one to get one. So I'm assuming there might be a mechanic giving out guns or switching out. I have not checked if I can switch the gun back. I would probably assume you probably could, but I don't actually know. It might have been just a permanent upgrade. But either way, I am enjoying the machine gun from the proto gun, which was the gun she asked to switch out because it looked damaged to her. So I thought that was alright. Enjoying that. So far, there are some mechanisms, like I activated a computer and it activated like air shoots so you could jump higher and such and fly faster across the screen. So there are some environmental things to help you in progressing. Enemies are quite weird. There's a lot of strange creatures like these fat things that fly around there. There's all kinds of creatures. Now, the RPG mechanics of the game, your character themselves does not level up. Your character can get more HP in missiles. How that works is kind of think of Castlevania Symphony of Night, how when you explore the castle, you could find secret rooms that would boost your maximum heart container and boost your HP. Think of items like that. You can find capsule items that basically would permanently increase your HP and your missile count. So you can get more HP. Now your weapons are where the RPG mechanic is. Your weapons have a certain level, and as you kill things, they'll drop little triangles. The little triangles are experience. They can also drop missiles and hearts. Gathering enough experience, they're gonna level up. Leveling up the gun gives, well, more power, and sometimes can change it a little. Like the machine gun at level 3, like I said, can propel you up when shooting downward. But it can only do that at level 3, which is its max level. Now, if you're thinking it's like, oh, I'll just level up all my guns, just grind heal several times, and boom. No. Actually, as a mechanic to encourage you not to be so foully simple with your strong power, if you get hit too many times, your gun can downgrade. You lose experience when you get hit. So hit too much, your weapon's downgrade and you gotta get that experience again. So it kind of encourages you not to go, wow, like, ha ha, I got a level 3 machine gun, y'all doomed. Level 3 fireballs. Oh crap, I got downgraded to 2. So, I think that's a very nice mechanic, of course. Interaction with the world is pretty simple. You just get lined up with it and hit down, and you can examine doors, talk to NPCs and that. Very simplistic in that fashion. Now, the story is you're a boy, and you have no idea who the hell you are. You have no amnesia. I have a little teeny info on where I am, but I don't want to go into that, obviously, for spoiler reasons. You have no idea who you are, and you just happen to have a very weak gun. So, in the room you start out, you just start exploring, and you walk there, and you'll run into a village of really odd creatures, and basically you get raveled into their problems. They're being kidnapped by some doctor. But anyway, they're being kidnapped, and basically you get wrapped up in their tale of twists and turns, and while discovering who you are, what you was, and why you're here. It pretty much is a very simplistic platformer element game with a very Metroidvania feel. I mean, seriously, if you ever played Master Blaster, take the tank car away and just be outside. Grow your character a little bigger than he is in Master Blaster, and take that third person mode out that's top-down view, and bingo, you have how Cave Story plays quite well in a nutshell. It's simple, it's not incredibly complex, and yet it's just fun. It was a launch game for the 3DS, my version. Like I said, the original version was on PC for free. I would suggest get one. Get a copy of this game. If you don't have a 3DS, like I said, it's on the PC. It's also on the Wii eShop. I'm not sure if there's an upgraded version of the PC version. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about that. There might be, but either way, you could go for the absolute original. If there is a more masterful version of it on the PC, there's that. Those options. But if you have the 3DS, I recommend getting a copy of Cave Story 3D. But don't worry about 3D. Just play classic mode. Whoops, I didn't mean to drop that. But I'm enjoying it very much. I will probably actually bring this to New York Comic Con for my air flights. It seems like a great time kill. I am really enjoying it. I recommend it if you like Metroidvania elements, if you liked Master Blaster, period, and you like a little platforming and some interesting gunplay into your game. Story, I can't really say if it's very deep so far. I've heard a little tidbits of Cave Stories. Tale, I know a little bit. I don't actually know anything about the main character, but like other plot elements of it, I do know. So it's, I think it will be very interestingly, but you know it's still pretty early. But I think it will be a very interesting message in the end, from what I know and what I've seen so far. First impressions, good, recommended. Get it however the fuck you can. And play Cave Story. Na 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 na. And check out Blair Floss's song on it. Do it.